So now Kendra Simpkins is our keynote speaker. And I'm going to have her come and share herself and what she does. But this is how we met. So I posted on the Sarasota Business Girlfriends, I'm looking for amazing women. And I got 25 names. And I called every woman up to meet them, to get to know them. And within, I think, 30 seconds of speaking to Kendra, I said, Kendra, would you be the keynote? And she goes, absolutely. And she didn't even know what she was saying yes to. So, Kendra, I'm not going to say anything else, but just from me to you, thank you for everything you do. Come on up.
I do have my notes here because life has been extra special to me lately. So good morning, everybody. I'm Kendra Simpkins. It's really such a great honor to be here in front of this group of extraordinary businesswomen and leaders in our community. And there's so many of you here today that I truly admire and look up to. We also have this morning some team members from Operation Warrior Resolution. So if you didn't know that part of the proceeds from this go to Operation Warrior Resolution, and I'm the CEO and founder of that. And what we do is we're a nonprofit that saves veterans' lives. And we do that, thank you. We do that through holistic alternative treatments. So outside of drugs and talk therapy, we do that through different types of alternative methods and modalities. So we also have a couple women who are incredible in their own right, Jacqueline and Jamie, who are on the team as well. And they're in the back of the room. And they are part of the ones that are also making an impact in these veterans' lives. So my sole purpose in life today is to provide a path for healing for every single veteran who's given their life for our country, so that they can have a resource available to them to get their life back. And for veterans to know that there are effective and quick treatments available for powerful healing to take place. And this can create a bridge for them to also get their purpose back. I discovered that to gain clarity and energy towards my purpose, I needed to embrace not just the good experiences, but the experiences in my life that I quite honestly wanted to run from. You know, we're conditioned to look at the positive and the happy and the joyful things, but there's also learning that can take place in those struggles as well. Because it's in the darkest of times that truly reveal who we are and what we're capable of creating. And when you embrace and overcome and go through the darkness and the trials, it's where you realize what you're truly capable of doing. And that's where you gain clarity and vision and where you can refine in what you're striving to create. You know, Operation Warrior Resolution wasn't created because my life was sunshine and rainbows. Operation Warrior Resolution, or OWR for short, was revealed through my trials and the darkness that I went through and the tribulations that I experienced and overcame to when my purpose came to light. Because I always had a calling to serve something that was greater than myself, I joined the military, the US Army, at the age of 26, which was a little late because that was the one thing that I knew in my life that if I looked back and knew I didn't do, that I would always regret. And now I know why I was called to do that was because of what I'm doing for service today. So I ended up getting stationed in South Korea, and I encountered several traumas while on my first year of active duty. And being so far from Sarasota and the security of home, because I am a Sarasota native, born and raised, and I was far away from my family and my friends, I began to have trouble managing the stress of my military duties. And within my own psyche, I was trapped, and the darkness and the hopeless and the pain that was setting forth was unbearable. And so I tried to run from it, and I tried to run from it by doing many things. I tried to run from it by, as soon as I opened my eyes in the morning, I would grab that bottle of vodka. And I didn't want to run from it, I didn't want to face it. So I would run from it, from doing things that were really harmful to myself, to which I honestly shouldn't have survived. And maybe unconsciously, I was trying to actually end my life until one day I was actually consciously trying to end my life. So then in my journey in South Korea, I woke up one day in a hospital after being in a coma for 3 days, and come to find out that on the way to the hospital, I had to be resuscitated, and the doctors were calling my family back in the States, telling my family that I wasn't gonna make it. But then I woke up, and here I stand in front of you today. Thank you. And then I was quickly discharged from the military because they didn't want me to be another liability. So I come back home, and I come back home with no job, no place to live, no car, and I had to rebuild my life again. But it didn't happen that quickly because it was another year of hell before one day I woke up yet again, grabbing that bottle of vodka, and I looked at it and I said, I can't not do this anymore. I can't not drink this bottle of vodka, so I need help, God. And then I drank it and once again woke up in the hospital. But this time it was different. This time I knew that I needed help, and I was willing to do whatever it took to get there. And so that day started my journey of healing and recovery and evolution. And in just a few days, I'll have 11 years sober, which is really crazy to think when I couldn't even function without having alcohol in my system. And then I began to change everything about my life, the people that I was with, my job, the things that I was doing, and how I was spending my time. And I ended up completing graduate school. And with my Ivy League education, they only trained me to do what the traditional methods of therapy are to do, because I knew that I wanted to go back and support my fellow brothers and sisters who were struggling transitioning out of the military like I once was. And so as a licensed clinical social worker, I began that journey. But then I noticed once I went into practice that the standard typical treatment of trauma is, well, first of all, it can be highly traumatizing because they have people relive the event over and over and talk about it. And I just knew that that didn't feel right for me to cause more pain for somebody who is already in a lot of pain. And I saw that also the ones that I was working with weren't having much progress. And so I said, there has to be something else out there. There has to be something better that can provide healing for people who are struggling. And so I dove into traveling and exploring non-traditional methods. So I went to Thailand, I went to India, I went to Peru, and I studied and I practiced everything that those cultures did for thousands of years for healing to take place. And so that's how OWR was born. Through this experience of knowing what it's like to be in the depths of hell and darkness, to transforming into a force of beauty and light. I'm now searching and practicing the most innovative and healing methods to make available to others, and most recently, being psychedelics. They're highly backed by research and about to be approved by the FDA, and it's been one of the most powerful forms of healing that I've come across. And I'm now in a year-long program to become a psychedelic-assisted therapist. And since 2018, Operation Warrior Resolution, we now have 16 therapists who serve on our staff. And they have served over 800 veterans, their spouses, and their children. You know, it was just me providing therapy at first, and then we grew, and then there was more need. And so now we have a full team that helps support this incredible need that's out there. And we do that through an innovative brain-based healing to resolve trauma. And it's a type of modality that's based out of neuroscience, and it has the beautiful capacity to rewire the brain without causing people to relive past events so that there's no longer an emotional attachment. We also do yoga, breath work, nutrition, because that also not just impacts the physical body, but also the mental body. We do chiropractic and massage. We do Reiki, yoga therapy, equine therapy. I mentioned yoga. And as well as many others that can start them on their path of evolution. And just last night, we started a female veterans retreat, and it is our 15th retreat. And usually it's everybody is all hands on deck for the retreat. The whole team is there. But yet when Joe called, I said, I will make my team make it happen without me. So they started last night, and these group of 10 women, which I thought was kind of synchronistic that we're here today, putting this good energy out as we're helping to support these 10 women in their healing. And most of the things that they struggle with are military sexual trauma, because there's a lot of in-unit trauma that happens in the military. And we always tell them when they come in Thursday night, they're no longer going to be that same person when they leave Monday morning. And they say, well, how is that supposed to happen in such a short amount of time? And then sure enough, Sunday night, they're like, you were right. You know, life is different. I feel different. And they're walking around laughing and happy and light and connected. And that's when the healing takes place, is when you can have fun and laugh. But all of this in the way that Operation or Warrior Resolution does, and all of the things that we've accomplished and the success we have, it's not an easy climb. And there are times when I lose sight of my purpose, when I feel like the whole organization is crumbling. And there's something that I do to hold on to my purpose and the vision. And it's an exercise that I'd like to share to you. And it's actually one that we're going to share with the veterans tomorrow. And it helps them to also realign themselves with their purpose. And so I'm going to impart this to you as you all transform your experiences into purpose and chase after your vision today. So, as I mentioned, we like to focus on doing treatments and activities that are alternative, mind and body, holistic. And as a geek in neuroscience, I'm actually one of Dr. Joe Dispenza's trainers. And he likes to promote that we already have everything inside of us to heal ourselves. And we have a powerful capacity with our brain to heal the body and transform our lives. And for true shifts and transformations to take place, we have to tap into our brain's natural capacity of that neuroplasticity to take place. And we have to use experiential practices to target the subconscious mind or the emotional part of the brain, because that's where troubling thoughts and emotions come from. Things can't just be shifted by talking about it. Yes, it feels supportive and validating, but things are actually shifted by getting the body involved and getting the body moving. It takes place on a deeper level of the brain. So, as women who are business leaders, many of you have your own business and you have a logo. Yes. And why do we create a logo? It's because it's something that represents the business, what we do, who we are, where we're going. And it's oftentimes something that's so simple, but yet so powerful. And businesses have studied the power and the psychology of logos, because just by, if I said to you, what comes to mind when you think of yellow arches? I mean, McDonald's, they did a great job. Unfortunately, it's cheeseburgers and French fries, which is probably not necessarily something we want to pop into the mind. But because it's so powerful when we see it, and that's what the subconscious mind or the emotional brain responds to. Symbols, logos, stories, pictures, visualizations. And so if there was a logo that represents your vision and where you see yourself going, if you were to think of what you're looking to create, what are you doing? What do you see yourself? Where do you see yourself? Who are you talking to? And how are you feeling as you're doing it? And so take a moment to think about that and visualize that. And if you can feel it, or if you can't visualize it, see if you can still feel what it would feel like to do that. And so as you have this intention, as we call it, we'll create a logo for your intention. And so you doing this very soon, hopefully, what is a logo that would represent that of your intention of where you're going? It could be something simple like a wild animal, maybe a bird in the sky, something in nature, a beach. But as you have your logo to represent this, everybody got one? Okay, great. Well, as long as Joe is ready, we can move on. So we will go ahead and have the logo to sink into the subconscious mind. And this is why we call it mind-body treatments, is because you have something that targets the mind, but you also have something that targets the body and connect them together. And so as you have your logo, please stand up. We're going to do a little movement, because movement or exercise is actually really terrible for you. No, nobody says that. No, movement is really great for you, and it causes things to sink in on a deeper level. So as you're pairing your mind and connecting that with your body so that you're feeling that and moving towards that, I'll guide you through an exercise, and I'll demonstrate first, and then we'll do it together 2 times, okay? And I'm gonna pace my bum that way because I don't wanna flash anybody, but because we will be bending over. So you'll stand about feet, hips width distance apart. And you'll stand up tall, just stretching the crown of the head towards the sky and roll the shoulders back. You'll place your palms face out, extend your arms and your fingertips all the way out. And I'll demonstrate first so you can watch and then jump in with me. And then as you take a slow, deep breath in, you'll just raise the arms slowly up. And as you reach up and look up, you'll see the fingertips meet. And as you see the fingertips meet, imagine your logo there in between the palms. Take a slow breath out as you draw the palms all the way into the chest. You'll pause right there for a moment at the heart, just bringing to mind the logo and 1 breath. And then you'll slowly fold forward from the hips, and you'll just release all the way down, releasing the arms and the head, crown of the head towards the floor. And then you'll just take a slow breath there, and then slowly come back up. But I'll guide you through it, keeping the mind on the logo. Feet hips width distance apart and standing up, crown of the head towards the sky. Roll those shoulders back, palms face out. Take 1 big breath in to prepare, and slow exhale. And as you take your next exhale, raising the arms up towards the sky, fingertips reach all the way up, reaching, reaching, reaching. You'll see them meet at the top. Looking up and imagining seeing that your logo in between the palms, and draw the palms all the way in, taking your time. You'll pause right there, hands to the chest, bringing the logo to mind, and taking a big breath in, breathe that logo all the way in so it fills all the body and the cells and the muscles and the tissues, and exhale. Slowly drawing yourself down, folding forward from the hips. And if you are flashing anybody like I am, we're all women here mostly. And just relax down, drop that head all the way down, and just releasing the arms. And you can do slight movements, maybe finger painting on the ground or shifting your weight back and forth to loosen up the lower back. And then on the next inhale, you'll roll yourself slowly back up. And take 1 more moment to bring the hands back to heart center, drawing to mind your logo again and see it and feel it. And then bring your hands back down. Good, nice. And please have a seat. So that's also the thing too, when people talk about visualization, manifestation, it's one thing to think about it or imagine seeing it, but it's a whole nother thing to feel it. And bringing in those emotions to feel what it is that you're looking to create and the purpose that you're building. And by feeling it, we can shake out all those stuck and stored things that are causing us to be blocked from that through movement. So remember always to pair that visualization with that feeling in the body and tie it in with movement. And that also really helps. So as you go through this day, there's going to be a lot of speakers and a lot of opportunities to refine and hone in on what is your purpose. What mission are you looking to create? And just as I'm committed to my vision, the ability to hone in on and visualize my logo, which is the symbol, if you're wondering, it won't matter when a major team member unexpectedly leaves, when there's mistrust, when there's a loss of hope because there's so much need out there that it's almost impossible, you feel impossible to meet it. There's inflation. There's fear of taking business into a different direction that's more aligned with myself personally, which I actually spoke to somebody else about that just this morning. Or being called away to take care of an aging parent and spending nights in the hospital with them. These are all things that I've encountered just over the last month. And whatever it is, this logo will anchor you to the vision that you are chasing until your vision comes to fruition or your purpose leads you to completing your vision. Now, you're all women here looking to identify or continue to pursue your passion and to share in this community. But all of you are here because you're looking to refine your purpose and chase after that vision that makes this world better. So keep your minds open to the speakers that are presenting and keep your hearts open to this community that we're building together. Because as you define your purpose with this logo, or this experience that we all just shared together, hold on to this logo because it will empower you to overcome. It will empower you to persevere until you find yourself turning that vision into reality. Thank you very much. Thank you. And while we're all standing and applauding, can we please give Joe and Christy a round of applause for putting this amazing event together?